Okay, y'all tell me if y'all can see me. Tell me if y'all can hear me. This is my first time trying to go live from software, and I don't see the comments connecting. Bear with me, y'all. So I can see the comments on Instagram, but I don't see them over here. All right, we're gonna see if this works. Let me. It's a new year, new me, right? So I was determined to learn how to use my computer software to go live so that I would have better quality. But I'm looking at, let me see, y'all. Let me see. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, y'all say, and y'all can see me. Okay. So first of all, Happy New Year. Um, Tell me how y'all's New Year went. Did you do anything fun? Did you bring it in at home, in bed? What all was going on with you? I was at home having an in-home concert in my living room, so my voice should hold up for tonight. Okay, if it doesn't, we'll have to figure something out. But if this is your first time joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. I go live at least once a week. I try to. We'll turn this off until you text me and tell me why it's not showing up. But I try to go live at least once a week so that you guys can touch base with me. We have a live Q&A where my tribe gets to come in and talk to me about what's going on with them, how they're feeling, and not just answer questions. Okay. Now, I always say in our community, all right, we have a saying: we come here to ask hard questions to get honest answers. All right. Hard questions, honest answers. So that's what we're here for. All right. If you guys don't know me, put a one in the chat. If this is your first time attending my live, if this is your first time going live with me, put a one in the chat. But I am Brittainy Noel, mental health therapist here in Houston, Texas. And yeah, that's what I do. The Daily Fix. There we go. So I have the Daily Fix program. It's my announcement segment. I have the Daily Fix program where my community, my tribe, they tune in with me every day. So every day, the whole purpose of the Daily Fix is to help people uh, create a life of wholeness, right? In every area of our lives, we address it in the Daily Fix, whether it's relationships, whether it's communication, personality, identity, um, all of it. Okay, all aspects of your life. We did money, right? So when you join the Daily Fix, you get access to over 200 hours of content where I am teaching and coaching on different topics, and you get to join us for 2024. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. Um, I think I saw a one somewhere. But how we do it is if you have a question, put your question in the comment box, okay? Put it in the comment box, send it over to me so that I can see the I can see the question. Okay. If it's your first time joining, I'm telling y'all, I'm trying new software. All right. Trying to see how it works out. So if there's any issue, because I can already see a delay, but it'll be all right. So yes, I'm going to start with the first person who puts the first question down below. First question I will answer, and I already feel like we'll see. I will see. Okay, we're going to keep perfecting it. So if you are not in the Daily Fix family, okay, you guys probably don't know that I have coined 2024 the year of ascension. The Daily Fix tribe, they have an idea of why I have coined 2024 the year of ascension. So I'm really excited right now. New Year is my favorite holiday because it represents newness, it represents possibility, it represents what could be. So as we are heading into this new year, all right, I want you guys to tell me about what possibilities are you excited about? What possibilities are you hoping to see come into fruition for you? What things are you hoping to see happen for you? Because that's when we come on Q&As, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you move out of your own way, move the barriers out of your own way so that you can do the thing that you desire to do and have the life you desire to live, right? There is no change in your life going to happen. There's no change in your life going to happen without you changing internally first. So whatever I want to manifest externally, I promise you, there is a internal mechanism that needs to be changed. Okay? First question I see, how to let go when you are still in love. Ask yourself, what exactly am I in love with? Right? And understand that it is okay to love something and also release it. It is a human thing to love something and also release it. All right? That's a part of life. That's what grief is, right? To love something and have to release it, it means that I'm going to some point go through a grieving process where I have to grieve what it was and also what I hoped it would be and also what it will never be, right? Allow yourself to enter into that process of grief, of mourning, releasing whatever that thing was for you. If it was a relationship, release the ideas that you had about the relationship, release the shoulda, coulda, wouldas that you had about the relationship, reach a point of forgiveness for yourself and the other person so that you can move forward, right? And reaching that level of forgiveness, I'm telling you, if a relationship has ended and you cannot communicate to yourself how you contributed to the ending of that relationship, it's going to be very hard for you to move forward because I don't, there's no one, okay? There's no one in a relationship that is 100% absolved of any wrongdoings, right? Even if I'm not the one who cheated or I'm not the one who lied and I did everything I could have did. At some point, I ignored a red flag. At some point, I didn't reinforce a boundary. At some point, I allowed it to go on longer than what it should have been. Look in that relationship and ask yourself, what part of this breakdown do I want to take responsibility for? And that's what I'm forgiving myself for. I'm not forgiving myself for being a lover. I'm not forgiving myself because, I picked the wrong person. We all gonna pick the wrong person. Okay. At some point, all right, you're gonna pick wrong. But I forgive myself for not correcting the situation when I realized I had picked wrong. All right. So allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to mourn. Don't try to move past it. Don't try to go into another relationship. Allow that process to happen and do the work of unwinding yourself from all of the ideas that you thought that relationship was going to be. All right. Very good. Let me ask y'all a question in the chat. Tell me, is this video blurry? In the chat, tell me, is this video blurry? Okay. Let's see. Next question. Uh, I met a guy recently that seems to show up for me, but I've noticed his social media interaction is kind of wild. Which version should I believe? Both. You should believe both. Okay? Because what this person chooses, how he chooses to show up for you is one version of him. How he chooses to show up in line is another version of him. Both of them exist. This is where you have to we have to get better at looking at people as a whole. I don't get to pick which parts of you I want to be in a relationship with. I don't get to pick which parts of you I want to be in love with. I don't get to pick which parts of you I like and don't like. You have to understand that when I'm taking this person into my life, I'm taking the good, bad, and the ugly. So if how he shows up online is ugly, if how he shows up online looks bad, if how he shows up online doesn't look, and this is where, does it look like something you would want to attach yourself to? Does it look like something that I want to attach myself to? He may be good to you in private, but if he's showing up crazy on the internet, that crazy part of him exists. He just hasn't brought that to your front door yet. It's still there. So you have to ask yourself for however he's showing up online, is that something that I want to attach myself to? It ain't about him. It ain't about what he does and what he doesn't, and does it mean this? And oh, is that part just for show? None of that matters. What matters is what do you want for yourself? Think about it as branding, right? As if I get picked up for an endorsement from Better Health, and Better Health is like, yes, we endorse Brittainy Noel. She's the greatest therapist ever. We're paying her X amount of dollars to represent our brand. And then I come out here and I start saying some crazy stuff. I start twerking online, whatever it is, right? BetterHelp is gonna be like, hold on, wait a minute. I don't think she represents what we stand for. This is why you have to know yourself before you choose your partner. Do you know what you stand for? And are you picking people, not just partners, but friends, business relationships, any opportunity in your life in this next year? You have to pick people who are in alignment with what you stand for. Do you know your values? Do you know what you believe? Do you know what you stand for? If you know those things, then you will be able to easily look at people and determine whether or not that person is in alignment with who I say I am. And that makes the determination of whether or not this relationship moves forward. It's not about whether or not his online personality is real or is it fake. It ain't about that. It's simply that this person may not represent who I am. This person may not represent what I stand for. And you may be nice and you may be cute and you may be whatever. But if I have to compromise me in order to have you, that's problem number one. Okay. So ask yourself, is this person in alignment? All of them, not just the parts that you like, the full person. Are they in alignment with who you say you are? All right. Okay, let's look at the questions. If you guys are just joining, I'm Brittany Noel, mental health therapist here in Houston, Texas. I go live once a week where we have a just live Q&A. It's a big group session where we just talk about life. I'm here to ask hard questions to get honest answers. All right. So I am live on both YouTube and Instagram. So this is the first time I'm using this software that lets me go live on both. So I'm hoping it's going to work out. That way I can, you know, be more active on my YouTube. Okay. And if you're on Instagram and you don't even know I have a YouTube, go to my YouTube because there is thousands of hours of content from me on YouTube. All right. Grow with Brittany on YouTube. Okay. Let's see. Uh, okay, y'all. I'm looking at the questions. Okay. Let's see. There's some good questions. Okay. Let's go to the business question. When do you know it's time to let go of a business, or is it just burn or just time to take away and regroup? Any of those could be true, right? Any of those could be true, whether it's you're burnt out and you need some more support or you need to revamp the business. You first need to ask yourself before we create a strategy, you need to look at the business and take a very long, hard, honest conversation, have a very long, hard, honest conversation with yourself. For what this business is, why do I want this business? What is it about this business that I feel is going to either add value or subtract value from the vision that I have for my life? If you are not in the daily fix, y'all are missing a lot. The whole month of January, we're talking about sparked, right? My theme for the month of January is spark. It's this internal spark that you get when you know that I'm purposed to do more, when you know that I'm purposed to build a certain thing, have a business, build the family, whatever it is. The month of January is about being sparked to go into action. Before we can go into action, we have to have a vision. So I spend a lot of time helping my tribe develop a vision for what they want for their life. Because without a vision, it's like moving through your life with no GPS. This is why when you're deciding, should I quit my business, you got to go back to the vision. What does the vision say? When I look at my vision and I've created a vision that was built out of substance, I've created a vision that is built off of my values and my beliefs and who I believe I was called to be. When I created a vision that's built off of that, whenever you find yourself at a crossroads, you can always go back to the roadmap. You can go back to the vision and say, okay, where does this business fall in alignment with what it is I'm trying to create, the big picture that I'm trying to create? Because sometimes we create businesses just because we're good at something. Sometimes we create businesses just because we like doing something. Sometimes you create a business because you thought it was going to make you a lot of money. Does the business add value to the overall vision? Because many times, if it does add value, Finding the recommitment to get back at it and pick up where you left off, that's the easy part. But I first have to take a true evaluation. Why do I want this business? Because I'm telling you, if money is the reason why you want, to go into entrepreneurship, that's not enough. That's not enough. Entrepreneurship is too hard for money to be the reason why I go into it, right? You will lose more money at first before you even start making money. So what is the why? Because the why is what keeps me committed to the vision, right? So I would tell you to sit down. The fact that you feel burnt out is a good sign. It's actually a stop sign to say, "Hey, something is not working." I have to sit down at that stop sign and be courageous enough to be honest with myself about what's not working. Is it that the business isn't working? Is it the way that I'm running the business isn't working? Is it that I don't even feel called to do this or I don't even like doing this? What is the truth about why this thing is not working? You hit a stop sign in your life, embrace that stop sign. Let that stop sign stop you from continuing to cause damage in your life. Sit down, evaluate, be honest, and come up with an answer of, is this really something that I wanna be a part of? If the answer is yes, you will find out you'll work your way through everything else. But I first have to come to a real honest answer with myself. Is this a part of my vision? And sometimes it's that this at one point I thought was a part of my vision and it no longer is. So you have to be honest with yourself about what that is. How can one keep a long distance relationship thriving? We're in the same country, but in different states. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. In order to keep a long distance relationship thriving, the number one thing that you guys have to be on the same page is communication. Because the only way that we're gonna be able to really create intimacy is through our conversations. Are we having high quality conversations that's gonna help us build intimacy? That's the deeper conversations. Those are conversations that are more than, "How did your day go? What are you doing today? What's on the agenda? What did you have for lunch?" Those are all great questions, but it ain't gonna build intimacy. So in order for you guys to make that relationship work, you gotta focus on having high value conversations, right? This is where I tell couples normally to get some conversation cards. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them from um, different companies, but the conversation cards are designed to help you build intimacy. It's asking your partner questions that you normally wouldn't think to ask, right? And so those questions open up a line of communication where he can be vulnerable, you can be vulnerable, and have these moments of, oh, those little heartwarming moments, even though we're long distance. And then the second is y'all have to be on the same page about what is the frequency at which we are going to make contact. What is the frequency of which we are going to make contact? 'Cause I don't know a lot of people who are in long distance relationships and they don't want to see their partner, physically touch their partner. So you need to make sure that y'all have the same expectations. So if he says, "Well, we can meet up to see each other every 6 months," you have to decide if that's okay with you. If he says, "Well, I'm cool with seeing you every 3 months," are you okay with that? So this is where agreements have to come into place. We can't just wing it. We can't just see how it goes. We need to be adults and have some very real conversations. I'm someone who loves physical touch. I don't know how you're gonna do that from states away, right? So you have to let him know if that's a need that you have. This is my need. This is how I would like to see that need fulfilled, and this is the frequency that I would like that need fulfilled. And so you have to give him the opportunity to consent. He has to agree, "Yes, I'm willing to see you every 2 weeks. Yes, I'm willing to see you every 30 days. I'll pay for a trip and then you pay for a trip. We go 50-50, whatever it looks like." But be very candid, very honest about what your expectations are, and do not try to go with the flow because I promise you, whatever you expect is gonna happen or whatever you expect them to know, they don't. So be very out in the open about how you would like the long distance relationship to work, and then you guys meet in the middle. Whatever that compromise looks like, meet in the middle. Very good. What advice would you give to someone who is financially depressed that it leads to lack of motivation with simple daily tasks? Stop counting what you lost, right? When I'm financially depleted, many times the only thing that's on my mind is that bank account. My mind is on what's not in the bank account. My mind is on the debt collectors. My mind is on, I couldn't buy gifts for Christmas. My mind is on everything that I do not have. In order for you to overcome the significant depression that comes when you are not financially stable, you're going to have to shift your mindset from what you don't have to shifting it to what you do have. And this is where gratitude comes in, right? This is where gratitude comes in, being grateful for what I do have. The reason why you want to shift to gratitude is because if I can get to counting what I do have, what you find out is I actually have enough in me to go back and get the money I lost. I'm built of enough stuff. Because when I say gratitude, I'm not always talking about, oh, I'm grateful I have a car, I have a roof over my head, I have people who love me. That's great. But are you grateful for your resiliency? Are you grateful for the fact that you know how to get back up when you've been knocked down? Are you grateful for the fact that you know how to hustle? Are you grateful for the fact that you have enough energy to work 2 jobs? Are you grateful for the fact that you know how to research and go find different ways to create more income, to build your credit, to better yourself in some way? Those are things that you have to be grateful for. Because yes, I may be in a low season, but the low season doesn't last forever. So if I'm anticipating coming out of this season, I got to be grateful for all of the internal skill sets that I have that enables me to say, I'm in a messed up season right now, but eventually every storm turns out of rain. So eventually I'm going to figure out how to get my bank account together. Eventually I'll figure out how to get the better job. I'll figure it out. So in this moment, instead of counting what I don't have, I have to start counting what I do have, right? I will never forget, I wasn't having a bad day, but I had to go and, do a mental health evaluation on a lady. It always gets me, a lady who she was 34, so we were the same age. I wanna say our birthdays were in the same month, and so in her 30s, she had early onset dementia, and so when I'm talking to her, she's very childlike, she's very confused, doesn't really know where she is, and this lady prior to this incident was like some, I don't know, some big time, right? But it's those moments where I just have to think, like, God, like, Brittany, that could be you. The only thing that's stopping that from being you is God's grace. The only thing that's stopping that from being you is the fact that you are favored enough that you're not dealing with early onset dementia in your 30s, that you're not dealing with some mental health diagnosis that stops you from being effective. You may be having a bad day, but you know how to research how to go get some money. You know how to research how to build a business. You know how to research how to get a coach, how to get a mentor. You have a skill set that will set you up for the money that you feel like you don't have. Are you grateful for the skills that you do have that, if used properly, can put you back where you want to be? And what happened is a lot of people get so wrapped up on what they don't have that you become ineffective, you become paralyzed, and you can't rebuild your life because you're paralyzed in the anguish, in the depression, in the fear of, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. What do you have? Whatever you have in your vicinity right now, I promise you it's enough. Whatever you do have, when you start, this is an exercise. Get a piece of paper and write out, what is every positive thing that I do have in my life that I can use to take myself to the next level? What positive thing in my life do I have access to that can take me to the next level? Is there a person in my phone that I can call and get some information from? Is there somebody that I know at a job that can help get me in for a promotion? What do I have? Shift your mindset from what you lost to what I have in my hands. Whatever you have in your hands is enough. Whatever you have in your hands, it is enough. So focus on asking yourself, with what I have in my hands, with who I am, with the resiliency that I have. We call them in therapy gifts of adversity. The greatest part about going through adversity, okay, and always overcoming something is the fact that every time I overcame a storm, I walked out with a gift. I walked out knowing how to be strategic. I walked out knowing how to negotiate. I walked out knowing how to set boundaries. I walked out knowing what my value is. I went through the storm, but I came out of that storm with some stuff, and I'm gonna use that stuff to set me up for the life I wanna live. That's what you have to focus on. What do I have? Okay. How does one get out of analysis paralysis and do the work to stop self-doubt and realize self-worth? I have a whole month of content on that exact topic in the daily, all right? If my daily fix people is in the chat, give me a TDF in the chat. But the way that you stop analysis paralysis, first of all, is to realize that that's a defense mechanism, right? When I go into, I gotta overthink everything. I gotta keep researching. I gotta read another book. I gotta take another course. All of that is nothing more than a defense mechanism that's stopping me from moving forward. Why am I stopping from moving forward? Because I'm afraid, right? So I have to address the fears that I have of what moving forward represents. For a lot of people, moving forward means Imma be uncomfortable. For a lot of people, moving forward means I may be, um look, this is the benefit of using this new software. Okay, hold on. See? Did it come up? Let me see. Yeah, I think it came up. So, if you wanna join the Daily Fix, hit the QR code, okay? Listen, I love new software. I love new software. It just makes me more effective, okay? So to join the Daily Fix, there is the link to the website. Do you hear me? Okay? But yes, in order for you to stop using defensive mechanisms to block you from, moving forward and doing the things you know that you need to do, you really have to address the fear, right? The procrastination is nothing more than a symptom of a greater issue. The greater issue, I'm afraid. The greater issue is I don't feel enough. The greater issue is I don't want to fail. The greater issue is people gonna talk about me, whatever it is, right? In the daily fix, I think March in 2023, because we have a whole year's worth of content now. We just reached our 1 year anniversary. The whole month of March, I talked about confidence. In order to gain confidence to do the thing that you want to do, you don't wait to become confident to do the thing. You do the thing and then you become confident, right? Do the thing and then you become confident. So join the Daily Fix. We got a free 7-day membership. Okay, you can do the trial membership for 7 days. Go to the month of March and you can start hearing and listening, and I'll show you how to break down moving past self doubt so that you can be whatever it is be this year. All right. Do y'all understand? Okay, I'm gonna take a tangent real quick. I am so passionate, and one of the things that I know without a doubt I'm passionate about helping people do is uncover who they can be. Like, this is why I love the new year, because it represents so many possibilities of what's possible, and as you move through life, there's so much that happens that we feel like who we are and what we can do is written in stone. It's written in concrete. And there's when it comes time for you to change and be something different and grow and expand, there's so much fear, there's so much doubt wrapped around it because you feel like I have to stay the same. I have to keep the same people around me. I got to walk the same way. I got to talk the same way. But the dam broke for me when I realized I can reinvent myself at any given time. When I realized I don't have to stay the person that I was because I was born into this family or because I came from this background. That as I began self-discovery and I started uncovering all these different parts of me, the hardest thing for me to do was to accept those parts. Because I was like, "Man, if you accept all of these things you've learned about yourself, it's gonna challenge the story that you've always told yourself about who you are. It's gonna challenge the story of what you thought you were capable of." And so this is why I love challenging the way people see themselves, because sometimes the way you see yourself is so small compared to who you really are, compared to what you really can do, right? And so in order for you to get to a point where you see yourself as big, you see yourself as huge, you see yourself as powerful. You're gonna have to move past the story that you've told yourself about who it is you think you are and who it is you have to be. Are you willing to challenge that story to get to the next version of you? Are you willing to challenge the story that says, I gotta stay in the same city, I can't move to another city by myself? Are you willing to challenge the story that says, I'm the black sheep of my family and nobody likes me and I don't get along with anyone? Are you willing to challenge the story that says, I'm never gonna find love and divorce runs in my family? Are you willing to challenge the stories that you've created that keep you small? 2024 is that year, okay? 2024 is the year to challenge the stories that keep me in bondage, that keep me imprisoned, and that means that the change starts here. I gotta challenge and we had a guest speaker. TDF, y'all know, we had a guest speaker not too long ago, and what she said just set the room on fire. But, before other people disrespect our boundaries, we disres no, before we negotiate our boundaries with other people, we negotiate our boundaries with ourselves. We get so upset about what people didn't do and how they didn't show up for us and how they betrayed us and how they belittled us and how they didn't value us, missing the fact that many times the reason why they were able to do that in the first place is because before I started negotiating with them about what my value was, I first came to myself and negotiated with myself. Well, maybe you shouldn't charge that much. Well, maybe you shouldn't ask for this. Well, maybe you shouldn't do it this way. Well, maybe I'll just let them make it. Before we ever negotiated with other people, we first negotiated with ourselves about what we thought we were worth, what we thought we could have, what we thought we could do. When you have a clear understanding of who you are, what you want, where you're going, negotiation stops with you, right? Negotiation stops with you. There are certain things I'm just not negotiating because I know. Right? And this goes back to the storm. I've been through enough storms that I know what I'm made of. I know what I'm created of. I know what I do. I know what I'm capable of. So there are certain things that we just don't negotiate with myself or with other people. Okay. Now, I know I went on a tangent. Okay. Next question. Who has another question? Hi from Nigeria. Um, Next question. I'm gonna scroll up and see which questions I miss. Okay. Am I the problem if I get upset when I ask my partner a question and he doesn't give me the response that I am expecting? Yes. Yes, you are the problem. And the reason why I say you are the problem is because if I go into a conversation and I'm expecting a certain answer, I didn't go into that to have a conversation. I didn't even enter into that conversation. I went to him with a predetermined script of how I thought this was gonna go. Because it didn't go my way, now I'm upset and mad. There's no conversation that you can have if I'm going in already expecting what the other person should say, right? That's literally saying that this person has no free will, this person isn't allowed to have emotions, this person isn't allowed to have an opinion. You need to say what I want you to say in order for me to be happy, right? That's a lot of control. And you're trying to control something that you have no control over. So one, release your expectations. Let me post it again. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I'm so happy about this new software. Okay. Okay. Uh, Release your expectations, right? In a relationship, in a relationship, I can't be in a relationship with someone if I already have predetermined expectations of how I want them to think, how I want them to feel, how I want them to respond. That's not a real relationship. That's me dictating to this person what they need to be to me so that I feel safe and secure and loved. In a real relationship, my partner should be able to disagree with me. In a real relationship, my partner should be able to give me their opinion, and I don't like their opinion. They should be able to give me the realness and rawness of who they are, and while I may not like it, while I may not agree, they are entitled to that because this is a safe place. When you communicate to someone, "I'm angry because you said something I don't like," you're also communicating, "I don't trust your opinion, I don't value your opinion, and how you feel is not safe in this relationship." So that person is gonna shut down, they're gonna stop being honest with you, they're gonna stop coming to you when they have issues, and then you're gonna be like, "Well, why don't you talk to me? You never talk to me, you never tell me what's going on." Because when I did tell you what was going on, you got an attitude. Because I didn't say it the way you wanted me to say it, or I didn't do it the way you wanted me to do it. Your response is getting you the distance that you don't want. So, what I would tell you is to practice, acceptance. And acceptance is not even the first part because you really have to examine yourself. Why do I have what is it that I'm trying to control in this relationship? And why do I feel like I have to control it? What is it that I'm trying to control? And why do I feel like I have to control it? You gotta get to the deeper parts of that so that you understand why is this even why is this even a behavior in the first place? Okay. I want to attend the gala. The gala is in Houston, Texas. Look, I came prepared. Listen, okay, the gala is in Houston, Texas. It's next weekend, y'all. Goodness, it's next weekend. Okay, so the gala is next weekend where I will be talking about the year of ascension. If you've never heard me speak live, you wanna be there. Semi-formal, so put on your best, okay? Look cute, okay? It's gonna be a party because we're celebrating, the first year of the Daily Fix 1-year anniversary, and I had y'all think I'm a good speaker, but I invited 2 powerhouse speakers to come and talk to my tribe as well. It's gonna be a very powerful night, so I would love to have you there. We have, just a handful of tickets left, okay? So, get your ticket. I'll see you next weekend. It's really next weekend? For real, though? Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, it's next weekend. Okay, I got stuff to do. Thank you, Candy. I've been first of all, Candy, this is all Breon, okay? Breon came through with the updates because he was tired of me going live on my phone, okay? So, we got upgrades, okay? So, yes, if you wanna come to the gala, I would love to see you guys next weekend here in Houston. Okay, next question. Thank you, Mr. Donaldson. Thank you, Kenny. What are some relationship building techniques that you can suggest for people going into a marriage? Very good. Going into a marriage. So first off, my in my family, my siblings can stand me, right? Because anytime they come to me and they're like, "I like so and so, we're thinking about marriage," or my brothers for sure, because my brother came to me one time, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna propose to her and, we're gonna get married." And I was like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I support you, Imma be there, cool." He was like, "Yeah, you gonna help us pay for the wedding?" I was like, "Nah, I'm probably not gonna do that." But you know what I will pay for? You know what I will pay for? Premarital counseling. Premarital counseling. I told him, I said, "I'm more invested in your marriage than I am invested in your wedding. I don't care if I don't care if you go to the courthouse. I don't care if you get married in the backyard. I don't care where you do it. What I'm more concerned about is that you are entering into this partnership fully equipped to love and be loved with this person that you're choosing to do life with. I would rather you enter into this partnership ready to be the husband and the father that you want to be in this relationship. I would rather pay to get you the tools that you need to be successful at marriage because I'm not worried about a wedding." So he got upset with me. But still, I tell that to everybody. All my siblings know when it comes to me paying for something, I have no issue. paying for stuff, but Imma pay for the stuff that matters, okay? So I said, "I will pay for your premarital counseling, but I'm not gonna buy no flowers. I don't care about no cake. We can get a sheet cake from Sam's." Okay? And I'm saying this because this is my approach. I've always said I have no problem with a courthouse wedding, and the way my personality type is, I'm liable to elope on any given day. What I am more what I am more invested in is making sure that we have the tools necessary. Hold on, what's happening? Oh, but we have the tools necessary to make this relationship work. So when you are a new relationship, okay, going into marriage, make sure that you invest in premarital counseling. I always say, because in our Black communities, we want to go to church. Going to the church to get premarital counseling is not bad if they have licensed marriage counselors, not a certificate. Okay. And I know some people go take this hard. And I say this because I have seen a lot of people have been done an injustice because while churches try to be everything they can be for the community, there are a lot of things that they just are not. So if you have a church home that has a licensed counselor that is certified in marriage and family therapy that can offer you premier don't you can go to your pastor for counseling, that's fine, but make sure you got that therapist on deck, okay? Because those people, first of all, they're gonna give you a compatibility test. You want to look at this compatibility test. Compatibility what I love about the compatibility test is that it's gonna show you where you are not in alignment, okay? Because you're getting married because you're looking at all the ways in which you love them and they complete you and they make you feel good. So you're looking at all the positives. What I want you to do is look at all the negatives. Let's look at where you guys don't see eye to eye. Let's look at where you guys get into arguments. Let's look at where you guys are not equally yoked. Because those negatives doesn't mean that the marriage doesn't work, but we have to plan for the ways in which we do not work. Let's put systems in place now for how we're going to communicate. Because you could be marrying someone who's an anxious communicator and you don't even know what an anxious communicator is. Okay. If you don't know what an anxious communicator is, that's someone who is very much very talky, very mouthy. They react on their emotions a lot and they have to talk through their emotions. But if she's an anxious communicator and you are not, you're going to look at her as annoying. You're going to look at her as, being nagging. You're going to look at her as being, this, that, and the other, because you didn't have someone who taught you that when she goes into that behavior, it's more than likely because she's afraid. She needs reassurance and she needs it can take all of 15 to 20 minutes of your undivided attention to disarm that. But you didn't get the tools because you went to church and they told you to pray about it. They told you to submit. I'm laughing because I have heard stories, okay? I have heard stories. So going in, you want to plan for the ways in which we don't match because the statistically, the honeymoon stage wears off around year 2. This is why most marriages are initiated at year 5. This is why most marriages, first time around, are initiated by year 5, because by year 2, the honeymoon has ended, and now what happens when the honeymoon stage ends, all of those emotions that you felt, the endorphins that you felt when they walked in the room and you got butterflies, and when they kissed you, you just melted, all of that stops because my body is no longer responding to my person. When we meet somebody new, there's a whole chemical composition that happens in our body that makes us feel like, "Oh, I just love them. I just care for them." After year 2, loving you is no longer an emotional decision. Loving you now is a commitment. And so how do I stay committed to this person when I don't have these ooey gooey feelings anymore? How do I stay committed to this person when now things just feel normal? How do I stay committed to this person when this is just a regular Tuesday and I have to love them and stay committed to loving them even when I don't have the ooey gooey feelings that's making me do these behaviors, right? A lot of people rely on emotions to inform them of who they love and who they don't love. Love is a commitment. Emotions are the bonus. But when I say I love you, I'm saying I am committed to loving you, even when my emotions of love are not there. Love is an action. Can I still behave as a loving partner even when I don't have these emotions telling me to behave that way? Can I still protect you? Can I still look after you? Can I still care for you when all of those nice emotions are out the door? Love is a commitment. Focus on building friendship. I can go on this all night. Focus on building friendship because friendship is one of the high indicators of long-lasting relationships. Is this person truly your best friend? And depending on the individual people in the relationship, okay, there are some people who say, "Oh, my partner is not my best friend." Hey, hey, do what you wanna do what you wanna do. But the reason why friendship is important is because how I treat my friend when I am upset is very different than how I treat a stranger when I'm upset. So if I can continue to see this person as my friend, even when those ooey gooey emotions have rubbed off, I still have a high regard for this person. I still have a high level of respect for this person because I'm not relying on my feelings to inform me of how I should treat them. This is my friend. I don't want to hurt my friend. I don't want to belittle my friend. I don't want to roll over my friend. Therefore, even though I may not be deep head over in love and heal in love with you, because you're my friend, I can still treat you in a high regard. Focus on building friendship. In friendship, you also see a different level of transparency. In friendship, you also see a different level of transparency. When you're my best friend, I truly tell you anything. I tell my best friends anything, and I have no fear of them judging me. I have no fear of them saying, "Oh, Brittany, you did what? Oh my gosh." Because in friendship, they have accepted all versions of Brittany, not just the pretty version. So when the way that that translates into relationship, if I if I have you as my friend, yes, you're my lover. Yes, you're the love of my life. Yes, I have a romantic connection to you. But in friendship, if you show me your weaknesses, if you show me your imperfections, if you show me where you made mistakes and you got it wrong, we can laugh about them. We can talk about them, and I'm not going to judge you for them because you're my friend. I have no desire to release you in any time given soon. Okay. You ain't going nowhere. We sticking beside each other, right? And so you'll see a different level of transparency in the relationship because I can show you my full self without a fear of rejection. Okay. And the last one. Oh, conflict resolution. This is another reason why you have to go into therapy because statistically, the couples who resolve conflict the fastest have the longest marriages. If you join the Daily Fix, talk about relationships extensively, right? We talk about it throughout the whole year, but for sure, we did October, Love Reimagined, and we did February. February is always a relationship month. We talked about relationships. So if you're trying to learn your attachment style, if you're trying to learn communication techniques, if you're trying to learn how to disagree, how to fight fair, all of that is in the Daily Fix. I am loving the QR code pop up. Okay. All right. So the last one is conflict resolution. So learn conflict resolution, learn how are we going to fight fair, learn each other's triggers, learn what communication techniques will we use when we feel our emotions escalating, learn how to disconnect when things have gotten heated. The better you get at resolving conflict quickly, your relationship enters back into a state of homeostasis. So if you think about a relationship, if it's going this way, your disagreement takes you down. The faster you can get back up to your normal level, that is what's going to indicate your relationship feels good to you. But the longer you stay in this nosedive in the relationship, that's where the relationship no longer feels fulfilling. That's where the relationship now feels like work and it feels draining because you spend too much time down here because y'all don't know how to resolve conflict. So the goal is not to avoid conflicts because conflict is inevitable. gonna happen. It's gonna come up, all right? It's gonna come up every other, especially if you got kids. It's coming up. So the thing is, when we nosedive, do we know how to get back up? And can we get back up quickly? And this is where forgiveness comes in, right? Forgiving my partner for being imperfect, forgiving them for forgetting to take the trash out, forgiving them because they left the baby at school, whatever it was. How quickly can we forgive each other to get back to our state of homeostasis so that we're not stuck in that nosedive and the relationship now feels overwhelmingly unpleasant? Very good question. All right. Join the daily fix, y'all. I can't keep. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. All right. Let's see. Um, my ex broke up with me because he was depressed. Should I wait for him to get better or should I just let go? Let go. Let go. First of all, you don't hang on to nothing that ain't hanging on to you. Okay? Can we take that into 2024? Can we put that on a t-shirt? I ain't hanging on to nothing that ain't hanging on to me. Okay? So depression, anxiety, PTSD, yes, all of those things make it difficult to be in a relationship with someone. However, I cannot fight for a relationship that you don't wanna fight for either, right? And I think sometimes because you may get with a partner who's struggling emotionally, you may get with a partner who's struggling with, trauma or past whatever it is that they're, because we all struggling with something, right? Everybody's struggling with something. But I have to still hold you accountable. Being in a and okay, all right, okay, hear me. Being in a relationship is actually a luxury, okay? Being in a relationship is a luxury. When you say, "I'm gonna be with somebody," and somebody is choosing to be with me, I have to see it as a privilege that this person has chosen to be exclusively, monogamously with me. They have chosen to be in my life. They have chosen to be a part of my journey. They have chosen to love me in whatever capacity and vice versa. That is a luxury for someone to trust me enough to say, "I choose you." But if you can't handle the responsibility of being chosen, of being in a relationship, of holding your end of what that responsibility is. It's like getting a car and saying, "I'm never gonna put gas in it." It's like getting a car and saying, "I'm never gonna get an oil change." Well, then what did you get the car for? You should have stayed on the bus, right? It's not your job to make them do the work required to know, how do I manage myself and my issues while also being in this relationship? Right? They have to go do their own level of work. So if this person has taken the time out or they say they need space, hey, I'm gonna give you all the space you need. And in the meantime, I am moving on. I'm moving on. I would love for it to be you, but at this point in time, it doesn't look like that's what this is gonna be. Should you come back around and I am still available, because I'm telling you right now, there's no guarantee because I'm not putting my life on pause and I'm not putting my life on hold for the off chance that you wake up one day and decide, "I'm where you wanna be," okay? So, move on with your life, encourage them to go get the help that they need, and should they decide to come back, all right, now listen. Should they decide to come back, they don't get to come back on the same level that they exited on. When people leave your life, you don't get to come back on the same level you exited on. You get to start back at step 1. Because now I have to rebuild trust with you. Now I have to actually get to know this version of you. Now I have to see, are you capable? You don't get to skip steps because you decided to spin the block. You still gotta court me. You still gotta take me on dates. You started from step 1, sir, ma'am, okay? And that's important because what will happen is people will come back into your life, and they wanna pick up where things left off at, and that is significantly unfair to you because you have whatever has happened, you have had to live your life without this person. That person should be able to come back into your life, and they need to earn your respect, earn your trust in them, right? And if you're willing to take that chance, communicate that. I would love for you to come back into my life. However, just know you're starting over. You're starting from step 1. So if you wanna enter into my life, that means courtship. That means dating. That means getting to know one another again, because I'm a different person from the one you left, and you're a different person, so we need to get to know each other, and watch how they respond to that. The people who get mad that they have to start over are the people who don't va they're not coming back for you, they're coming back for them. They're coming back because they were like, "Man, I really miss how nice she was. I really miss how loving they were. I really miss that he was there for me. I really miss," and so they miss the benefits of having you, and that's why they're spinning the block, but they have no intention of actually pouring into you. So when you start them at step 1 and they have to make an investment to get what they had, they're gonna be angry because they didn't come here to invest, they came here to get. Alright, Imma stop, okay, Imma stop. Imma stop, alright, let me act right. What's the most effective way to communicate forgiveness? Um, or is the question, what's the most effective way to forgive someone? Forgiveness, if I'm in a relationship versus out of a relationship can look different, right? If I'm in a relationship and I'm trying to forgive the person, um, it's difficult because I'm in this relationship with this person that I want to be with, but I could still be having thoughts, memories, ideas of something that they did or something that they said, right? The best thing that you can do is constantly remind yourself of who it is that they say they're going to be for you, and look for evidence for the new version of them, right? So if they say, "Man, I've been really reckless with my mouth, I've been disrespectful with my mouth, I'm changing that behavior," right? It's easy for us to get caught up in, "Well, you know what you said last week, or you know what you called me the other day." If that person is actively making changes, if you can see the evidence in their behavior that they are making changes, engross yourself with the new behavior. Remind yourself of how they're doing it different. Acknowledge what they're doing different, because that new change in behavior is proof that the person you love is there, right? The person you care about is there. I didn't we cannot go into relationships because we're expecting perfect people. I'm telling you, whoever you love, at some point they're gonna hurt you. At some point they're gonna disappoint you. At some point they're gonna fall short. I cannot forgive them if I'm constantly holding on to what they did wrong. So look for the evidence of what they're doing right. Make sure that you keep a tally of what they're doing right. Because what people do, once you've hurt me or you've disappointed me, I now keep a tally of everything that you did wrong. You didn't take the trash out. You forgot to do this. You didn't say I was pretty. You didn't do this. You didn't take me on date night. And so now you start to keep this running list of everything they're doing wrong because you haven't forgiven them for the one thing that they did that hurt you. To move to forgiveness, I gotta start keeping a tally of what is this person doing right for me? What behaviors have they changed? What sacrifices have they made? In what ways are they changing to be better for me? That's what I keep track of. And that gives me a piece of reassurance. That gives me a piece of safety because I'm paying attention to the new behavior that solidifies what I want to believe about this person, that they are changing to be the person that I need and I love. Okay? Someone said my volume is going in and out. It's probably my voice is going in and out. My voice. So I'll take one more question. One more question. All right. Who's coming to the gala next week? Who's coming to see me? Who's in Houston coming to see me next week? We will be in the Galleria area. I'm excited. Okay. Okay. Yes, Miss Marie will be there. Where have I been all your life? In Texas. In Texas, for sure. Okay. The live will be saved on YouTube, so you should be able to go and watch the replay on YouTube. It's, Grow with Brittany at you on YouTube, Grow with Brittany. Imma just spell my name right and it'll come up. Am I going to be anywhere else? Not that I've announced. Hey, Michelle. If you can't make it to the gala next week, we do have our first Sunday session. I said every day I say I'm gonna post about the Sunday session, and I always forget. Sunday session are probably the videos that you guys have seen online where we have my live in-person audience who are asking me questions. So we basically do this, but we do it in person. Um, February 4th, the first Sunday in February, you can attend virtually or you can attend in person. So if you go to my website, you'll be able to sign up for the Sunday session. TDF knows the secret. TDF does know. See, this is why y'all got to be a part of the Daily Fix. They get all the behind the scenes. um, Tickets for the Sunday session is at BrittaineyNoel.com. Oh, is that Super Bowl Sunday? Listen, first of all, I don't watch sports. I don't watch sports. So I would have never known in 1,000 years that that's Super Bowl Sunday. We may change it. If it's Super Bowl Sunday, I may push it back a week. Okay, last question. Hey, Sadrine, our international TDF tribe. Okay. Let's see. All right. Wisdom for dating at 40 after a decade of no dating. All right. Okay. Dating is different. Okay. Dating is different. I think one of the hardest parts about dating is you have to. Thank you. Okay, so Super Bowl is on the 11th. Okay, cool. Awesome. Um, Dating is different, right? If you haven't dated in 10 years, it's different. But here's what I would tell people, and this is whether you're 30, 40, 25, whatever it is, okay? You have to enter dating with the right posture. So many people go into dating. I did it when I took my break from dating years ago. When you enter back into it, you go into it with so much pressure, so much anxiety, because there's so much pressure for us to meet the person that we're gonna be with. And many times, dating is a learning experience. I learned so much about who I was through the dating experience, right? Because one, the people that you date, whether the date was good or bad, you should be learning about yourself, something about yourself in that interaction, right? If you dated someone and they started pushing boundaries or they started talking about sex too early, okay, well, did you correct them or did you just sit there quietly? If you're talking to someone, I remember this is when I learned how feminine I am because in previous relationships, I was just I was me, but I've always been like a tomboy. So I wasn't girly, right? I went on a date with a guy, like, and I was, like, in my 20s, and this man refused. He refused to open a door. So much so and it was different for me because men that I dated in the past, that's just what they naturally did. So I never even knew that it was something that I wanted or desired. And so we went on a date, and this fool almost let the door close in my face as we were walking into a restaurant. He walked in before me, and because I didn't grab the doorknob, the door just slammed. And I'm like, so what did I do, right? Because I'm in my season of learning myself, and this is when I was learning how to communicate when people had crossed boundaries, because before, if someone crossed the boundary, I would either just never talk to them again, or I would just, like, not say anything, right? And so we sat down and I was like, "Hey, so, we laughed about the door thing," and I was like, "I really do like dating guys who are chivalrous in that way. I like chivalry. I like to have my doors open. I like to have, the car door open for me." I said, and I specifically said, "Because when men do that for me, it allows me to feel soft and safe and feminine in their presence. So, is that something that you're open to doing?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It just slipped my mind, blah, 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 whatever." I'm like, "Okay, okay, cool, cool. No problem. No harm done." Laughed and talked the rest of the day, got up to leave, got to the car, and he did not open the car door. I said, "Oh, fella. Oh, good fella. Oh, sir. This is where we get off at, right?" This is where I learned it is okay for you to communicate your needs without a fear of rejection, because if someone doesn't honor my need, it doesn't mean something was wrong with me. It doesn't mean that I was wrong for having a need. It simply means this is not that person. It simply means that this is not someone that I can be with. And I learned that really that's a requirement for you. That's you can just be quiet about. That's not something that you can just let go, because in order for you to sit in your femininity, you need that energy around you, right? So dating is gonna teach you about who you are right now in your 40s, right now in your 30s, right now in your 20s. When you're dating people who do not honor you, you're gonna learn, do you really trust yourself enough to put a boundary in place? Do you really trust yourself enough to say, "Hey, that's not okay"? You're gonna start learning that, and you're gonna learn what you like. You're gonna learn what you do like, because there will be every date won't be horrible. There's gonna be some great dates, and you're like, "Ooh, I really like that," right? So, don't go into it with all this pressure of, "Am I gonna meet the right person? Are they the right person?" Because I've seen people go on first dates and, by the end of the first date, you over here thinking about putting y'all last names together. No, no. This is a great first date. I'm living in the moment. I'm allowing the moments to teach me whatever they're here to teach me. At the end of the day, I'm here to enjoy my dating experience. Date people you enjoy. Do not date people to tolerate them. Date people you enjoy. Okay? But it's different. Know your standards. Stand on your standards. If you know you want chivalry, don't budge. If you know you want someone to be intentional about setting up a date, don't budge. Telling you, what you dismiss at the beginning will be the reason why you leave them 3 months from now. Stand on your standard. If you know that there's a certain way that you want to be courted, eh, communicate that, make it right, and then allow that person to decide whether or not that's how they can show up for you. Listen, men and women alike, there are a lot of people who don't have the skill sets to show up as a grown human being in the dating scene. I'm sorry. I know. I'm a hopeful romantic, but I need you to know that when you date with standards, you're gonna be issuing out more no's than you give yeses. Be prepared for that. When I date with standards, I'm gonna be giving more no's than I give yeses. One of my biggest pet peeves with the whole dating scene right now, men and women alike, they think that they can be entitled to a person without investing anything. They think that they should be able to get the best parts of a person without investing anything, without setting up a date. Somebody I'm I'm lit okay. Don't expect nothing from me if you ain't invested nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. But there's this very and they'll say, "Oh, well, why would I do that? And, it may not pay off or it may not do this." But I'm like, what is the purpose of you even dating if you have no intention of bringing your best self into this interaction? When I date people, I give my best self. You gonna enjoy your right? I'm giving the best parts of me because first of all, I like the best parts of me. I enjoy sharing the best parts of me with other people. But if you're showing up half as my grandma would say, half-assed, you're only putting in so much, you're only doing bare minimum effort. Bare minimum effort does not get you results. Bare minimum effort, there is nowhere in life that bare minimum effort gets you results. If you work on a job, that bare minimum effort gonna get you written up. That bare minimum effort gonna get you escorted off the premises. So why is that tolerated when I'm allowing somebody into my life? This is my life where I have peace, where I have joy. Why would I allow you to come in here and you can't send me a text message to say, "Hey, you can't call me consistently. You ain't even tried to set up a date. Why am I giving you my time? What have you invested?" Right? So stand on your standards. But just know, standing on my standards means I will be giving out more no's than I give yeses. And guess what? That's okay because we're not worried about quantity. I want quality. Not worried about quantity. I don't need a whole bunch of them. Just need one. And that means I'm looking for quality over quantity. Okay. All right. Have y'all enjoyed tonight's live with my new equipment? So join the Daily Fix. January is the month that we're talking about sparked, right? Really focusing on how we are being ignited in this month to do some great things. My tribe knows I'm ready. Okay, I am ready. So, join the Daily Fix. Like I said, you get access to our whole 2023 year. So whatever it is you're struggling with right now, I promise you I've already addressed it in the Daily Fix. So join the Daily Fix so you can be a part of our tribe, have our gala next week. Okay, Imma let y'all go. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'll be live. I think I'm switching my lives to Monday nights instead of Tuesdays. Mondays just have more flexibility right now in my life. So Mondays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'll be back. All right, set a timer on your phone. Follow me on YouTube, and I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a wonderful night.